violence, Buddhist and Hindu minority communities also feared for their security after the original Arsar attacks, and many fled from their homes. It may be worth noting that the use of air power in military operations was avoided as far as possible to minimize the risk of collateral damage. However, in one incident, in order to extract a unit surrounded by hundreds of Arsar fighters, the use of a helicopter was required. There was shooting from the helicopter, which resulted in fatalities, which may have included non-combatants. Mr. President, it cannot be ruled out that disproportionate force was used by members of the defense services, in some cases in disregard of international humanitarian law, or that they did not distinguish clearly enough between Arsar fighters and civilians. There may also have been failures to prevent civilians from looting or destroying property after fighting or in abandoned villages. But these are determinations to be made in the due course of the criminal justice process, not by any individual in the Myanmar government. Please bear in mind this complex situation and the challenge to sovereignty and security in our country when you are assessing the intent of those who attempted to deal with the rebellion. Surely, under the circumstances, genocidal intent cannot be the only hypothesis. Under its 2008 constitution, Myanmar has a military justice system. Criminal cases against soldiers or officers for possible war crimes committed in Rakhine must be investigated and prosecuted by that system. On 25th November 2019, the Office of the Judge Advocate General announced the start of a court-martial for allegations linked to the Gudapian village incident, one of the 12 main incidents referred to earlier. The office also let it be known that there will be additional courts-martial if further incriminating evidence is brought up by the Independent Commission of Inquiry. The ICOE is an independent special investigation procedure established for Rakhine allegations by the President of Myanmar, chaired by a former Deputy Minister from the Philippines, with 3 other members, including a former Undersecretary General of the United Nations from Japan. On 26 November 2019, this commission announced that it had taken about 1,500 witness statements from all affected groups in Rakhine, and that it has interviewed 29 military personnel who were deployed to the affected townships in northern Rakhine during the military operations from 25th August 2017 to 5th September 2017, as well as 20 police personnel who were stationed at the police posts that were attacked on 25th August 2017. There is currently no other fact-finding body in the world that has garnered relevant first invite the members of the court to consider for a moment the record of other countries. This is a common challenge, even in resource-rich countries. Recent cases in the news headlines illustrate that even when military justice works, there can be reversals. This can also happen in Myanmar. As part of the overall efforts of the Myanmar government to provide justice, a court-martial found that 10 Muslim men had been summarily executed in Indian Village, one of the 12 locations of serious incidents referred to earlier. It sentenced 4 officers and 3 soldiers each to 10 years in prison with hard labor. After serving a part of their sentences, they were given a military